Okay, so picking up from where we left off, the news doing the rounds is that WWE Vince McMahon had a conference call not long ago, and had announced that he would scrap the concept of Survivor Series from the pay-per-view format as of next year. Well, as of this year, and he said something that was quite almost delusional to me. And he said that the traditional tag team match, the multi-man tag team match, as a concept isn't working, and that's why people aren't buying the Survivor Series pay-per-view. That's why the buy rate dropped this year. Here's what I think. First of all, the last Survivor Series was presented to me as a fucking joke. Okay, um, the main event, Michaels, Hunter, and Cena, was 3 weeks of comedy bullshit, poor comedy bullshit, midget caught with Hornswoggle and kicking Hornswoggle and I want to squash him and all that crap, and a comedy feud with Cena, which really Cena had nothing to do with. And you expect people to, take money out of their wallets and pay for that? No. I mean, I think that was a big part as to why that, no one bought Survivor Series. It's a shame because the whole Big Four pay-per-view concept has really deteriorated over the last 2 to 3 years in particular. Survivor Series has always suffered anyway. I felt that pay-per-view hasn't mattered in a while. And I've always felt, especially when you're doing your Big Four pay-per-views, given that there's a time of a recession and you're in a pay-per-view market, you have to be smart about what you're putting on pay-per-view and make when you're competing with people like the UFC and boxing who are putting on fights and things that people want to see, and you're competing for the pay-per-view dollar, you have to put on something that's equal to that people want to pay to see. And when you're booking your main event as a comedy feud and a feud that we've seen before, then people aren't going to care. So this whole the traditional match doesn't work. No, look how you booked your last Survivor Series, and I think you all know by then why it didn't work. You know, you've got this comedy feud. If I'm the pay-per-view buyer and I'm going to order a pay-per-view, one pay-per-view for that month in November, I've got Ortiz and Griffin. I've got did Pacquiao fight that month? I think he did. And then you've got this comedy joke bullshit feud with Cena and all of those guys. What do you think I'm going to spend my money on? Exactly. So I'm not surprised. Now the rumor doing the rounds is what they're going to have to replace it. Apparently they put a poll up saying what would fans like to see a King of the Ring pay-per-view. They could do a King of the Ring pay-per-view, but not for November. I think King of the Ring would be perfect during the summer, where they can build it up before SummerSlam, and it's like the Royal Rumble. What the Royal Rumble is for WrestleMania, King of the Ring could be for SummerSlam. What Royal Rumble is to WrestleMania. Build up someone, elevate them, they win the tournament, they have the title match at SummerSlam. It worked when they did it with Brock Lesnar. Maybe they could do that. The other one is this Money in the Bank ladder pay-per-view that they want to do, which I don't think they should do. If they do a pay-per-view based on Money in the Bank ladder match, that's overkill. Money in the Bank has started to mean something, and they should just keep it for WrestleMania, and that's it. If they do a Money in the Bank ladder match pay-per-view, it's not going to work. It's going to be oversaturated, and it's going to dilute the concept. And people, it's a part of WrestleMania now. Just leave that alone. Um, Apparently they want to do Battle Bowl, which was a WCW idea, which was quite funny. And actually, one of the more popular ones is War Games. Now, if they did War Games, that would be interesting. But do I have faith in the WWE actually being able to book a War Games? I'm actually surprised they haven't done one since they brought back the Great American Bash. And considering Dusty Rhodes works in the company, I'm really surprised they haven't pushed for that idea. Um, if they can do a War Games, that would be great. War Games is always a very memorable pay-per-view for a lot of people. And one that sticks to mind to me was the one with the Road Warriors. I think it was the Road Warriors, the Four Horsemen, and some others. I can't remember. I was really young when I saw it. I was probably about four. If they do that, and actually if they do the War Games concept, and actually do it in a way that they can elevate a few names in the process too, then that could help. Um, it's just a shame that they're scrapping the Survivor Series thing, but I'm not going to defend the other part of it, that they will keep other pay-per-views that don't work. I think the Survivor Series concept suffered, and I think the pay-per-view concept in the WWE has suffered because there are too many pay-per-views. They're running too many shows, especially after April. There's so many pay-per-views between April and the summer. It's just too much. And now you're using 3 weeks of television to build to a pay-per-view instead of 4 weeks, which is even more of a problem now. And now everything is really rushed. I think they should scrap 2 pay-per-views in the middle, give themselves a little bit more TV time, because it was easier going into the Royal Rumble with 8 weeks of television as opposed to 3 weeks in Rumble, which I prefer, and it was easy to digest as a viewer. Um, just looking at the Survivor Series match as a whole and the things they used to do with it, the traditional match actually always it was a good way to showcase young talent too. You could put your main event wrestlers in the title matches, like '96 they had Bret Hart and Austin wrestle, and they had Michaels and Sid wrestle, but then they had the other tag matches, which kind of highlighted and showcased other people. Particularly, I remember Rocky Maivia, The Rock, making his Survivor Series debut, and I actually would say they did a good job for that pay-per-view of actually getting his name out there. And I feel that they've gone away from that, and they've gone away from the concept so badly that now, of course, people are not going to have interest in it. Um, in addition to that, they're scrapping ECW in a few weeks. I'm not surprised by that. You know, ECW for what it was wasn't bad. When they used it as a launching pad for young talent to develop on a kind of less pressure environment, I thought that wasn't a bad idea. They don't interfere with it too much, so guys are allowed to wrestle. However, I felt one of the problems was as soon as someone got over, they sent them to Raw, and then this just didn't work out. Look what's happened with Jack Swagger. He was popular. Look at Evan Bourne. He was catching on in ECW. They send him to Raw. Nothing happens to him. Jack Swagger. Nothing happens to him. Kofi Kingston got over, and now they've just completely wasted it, which is a damn shame. CM Punk actually got a bit lost in the shuffle when they moved him from ECW to Raw. Um, so, I'm not too surprised that they're going to scrap the idea. Apparently, they want to do this WWE NXT Next show, and it's rumored that it's going to have the same kind of feel to Tough Enough or The Ultimate Fighter, which actually is going to be one of my next videos. So stay tuned for that, because I'm going to be doing why I thought Tough Enough failed and why I feel The Ultimate Fighter succeeded where its predecessor failed. But if they're going to go with this concept, it could work, and apparently they're going to use this to push Daniel Bryan, as they've changed his name, and Koval. Apparently they're going to use this concept to push them, which could really work and actually get them over. But Truth Slayer said it well when he said that they might get so over, and then when they actually get moved to a brand, they're just going to push them right back down and make them work themselves right back up, which is a damn shame. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm gonna be doing another video on the Ultimate Fighter, which should probably be up in the next 3 or 4 days, and then I'm gonna be doing a UFC preview videos as well, my predictions on that. I've probably got quite a few videos coming, so stay tuned and have a good one, and I shall see you very, very soon.